All right, you alien junkies, here we go. Alien Romulus. Okay, let's see. What can I tell you about this movie? We all know I love Alien and Aliens. Actually, I really like Alien 3 now. So let's talk about Alien Romulus. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it Alien versus Predator garbage? Um, is it Alien Covenant just disaster zone? We're going to find out in a few minutes. Okay, so heads up actually, before I start the review, I'm gonna do a rating, a video uh, giving you a rating, my rating for all of the Alien movies. So 1, 2, 3, Resurrection, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Alien Romulus, and Alien vs. Predator 1 and 2. Whew, that's gonna be a lot of work. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I'll go through those movies and do like a ranking from best to worst and kind of talk about why. But for now, let's talk about this bad boy. Oh man, let's go to the dentist. Okay, okay. So Alien Romulus. See the challenge with these kind of reviews, like Beetlejuice, like Aliens, anything that is a sequel or a remake or whatever of a old movie that people like me really like, love, and have a lot of nostalgia to, is I have to try to review the movie without the without wanting it to be good. Like, is it good, or is it that's just that I want it to be good because I want to revisit this world, these characters that we grew up with. So the movie's doing really well. A lot of people liked it, so I'm assuming, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people would have given it good reviews. Let's talk about. I'll give you a quick breakdown of it without spoiling it. The cool thing about this movie that I really liked was that it occurs between Alien and Aliens, and you'll know that fairly quickly at the beginning of the movie through the events that occur through the movie. Um, that's really all I'm going to say about the stories. There are some pretty big plot holes in the movie that you just have to accept, I guess. I mean, I don't understand. I'll mention them, but I don't understand how people can write this the script. People can write these movies that are relatively pretty good, and then they just have these huge plot holes that they just leave. They don't address them, and it's like, oh, okay, we don't have an intelligent way for this thing to happen or this character to do this, so we're just gonna do it, and it's just to kind of push the plot along. So there were a couple of things in there that really irritated me, but overall, I think it's a good film. And again, everything is context. So like, if you're used to eating, you know, if you're used to having McDonald's, and then you go and you have, I don't know, you go to a restaurant, the restaurant's going to taste really good. But if you're used to going to restaurants, and and then you go, I don't know, like it's everything's in relativity. Okay, just sorry, that example. Forget about that example. If you're used to flying coach, first class is gonna feel crazy. But if you're or business class, but if you're used to flying first class and you go business class, it's gonna feel like a downgrade. So it really depends where you're coming from. So in terms of this movie, because we just came from Prometheus, which I think standalone is a good movie, but as an alien movie, it's just terrible. And then Alien Covenant. Oh man, jeez, that is such a horrible movie. I don't know how. I mean, no offense if you like it, but it's just. I'll make a whole video on that, and I'd love to like debate somebody on this movie, on Alien Covenant, because it's just terrible. They should have just called the movie Alien Michael Fassbender, because that's all it was about, the android character. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked here. Alien Romulus is a nice kind of return to form, sort of, to the originals. It's gotten away from the likes of Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I feel like it's a nice fresh look. It's got a fresh director. He directed, I think he directed Don't Breathe. That's what gave me faith that this movie would be decent. Don't Breathe was a low budget, Sam Raimi produced movie, and it's just amazing. So much tension. I like the cinematography. I like the look of the movie. I like everything. And this movie shares a lot of those things with Don't Breathe, and also I think the original Evil Dead remake. So let's talk about the good and the bad. So the good, it's a beautiful looking film. The CGI is solid as opposed to a lot of this big Marvel stuff where the CGI looks terrible. I saw Wolverine and Deadpool. I'll do a review on that, but the CGI in that was terrible. This is much better, and this is probably a lesser budget. So the CGI is good, the cinematography is good, the atmosphere is good. The camera movements, everything is really good. The production value is high. So it's a nice looking film. I'll say it that. Also, a lot of people were saying that the actors they didn't like the actors because they said they looked really young and stuff. I didn't mind the actors. One of the biggest fatal mistakes that a lot of horror movies make, you would call this a horror science fiction, is that they give you these characters that they're so annoying and you just want them to die. So I feel like that takes away from the movie, because then you just don't care. If you don't care if the character dies, what am I invested? Like, what's my investment into this? Whatever. I'm just there to see them get killed off. That's lame. But in this movie, it starts. Yeah, here we go. As I was watching it, I remember thinking a lot of people are going to complain that the movie takes a long time to really get started, because it's very slow for, I'd say, the first maybe 20 or 30 minutes, maybe more. But like in Alien and Aliens, the movie was slow, but it never bored you. Or sorry, the first 20, 30, 40 minutes technically was slow in those movies, but it kept your attention. This one was, I would say, half-half. They didn't completely knock it out of the park in terms of maintaining your interest. Some parts of it they did, sometimes they didn't. So again, it's got a slow start, which might turn some people off, but at the same time, you need to build the characters. You need to develop them and tell us about them, so that we care about them, so that if something happens to them, we want them to survive. We don't want them to get hurt. So we're rooting for them. We have to have somebody to root for in the movie. So beautiful looking film, great cinematography. I thought the actors did a really good job, and also they were written fairly well. So they didn't annoy me. I didn't want them to die off like I wanted in Alien Covenant, where I wanted everybody to die, and I was just rooting for the alien. But this one, you care about the characters. They're really good. A standout is the gentleman that plays. I don't want to say it. The gentleman that plays the android. I don't want to spoil anything. He's so good. He's really, really good. He's a standout. So yeah, the actors are good. The story is good, but some of the events that occur is what doesn't make sense. So let me talk about that. So let's get the positives out of the way. If you were disappointed with the last few Alien movies, I think you will. This is a fresh start. You'll like this one. It looks beautiful, and it's just it's miles ahead of the last couple of movies, in my opinion. Like, yeah, Prometheus looked amazing, but it was very, I don't know, it was very it was just all over the place with the religious stuff and the engineers. And then you had Alien Covenant, which it looked okay. It looked nice in certain things, but then for the majority of the rest of the movie, everything is dark and you're just in this dark place and it just looks terrible. This movie is very stylish, but it also, I felt, it's more style over substance. I'll say that, but it has a lot of style. It has a lot of style. Some of the scenes, like, they did a really good job with practical effects in this. See, this is where Beetlejuice and this that's where they made me happy, is you can tell they used a lot of practical effects. Obviously, you're going to make CGI to create certain things, but when you don't have to use CGI, and you can do it in camera and you can do it competently and well, I would do that, because that'll stand the test of time way faster, or way more than CGI, which could date fairly quickly. Yeah, the negatives about the movie. Like I said, the slow start was kind of, I thought hurt it a little bit. And just like with Alien Covenant, when the face hugger gets on somebody, if you're an Alien fan, you know it should take, like, to build suspense, it has to take, like, it takes like a day or a day and a half or something like that for the embryo or whatever to develop and then to burst out of your chest. So you're kind of wondering when it's going to happen. In this one, it's like facehugger jumps on the person, and in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, all of a sudden, boom, it pops out. And then in the original movies, after it pops out, it's a tiny little thing. It needs time to develop, to grow. But in this one, it just happens like so quickly, and I thought that was a big downer. And the other thing was that there's like a spaceship that's, they need some kind of equipment from a spaceship that's just kind of hovering in orbit, and it didn't make sense to me that the army or the space people or whoever would just let it sit there with these supplies and not do anything about it. Just weaknesses in the script, like I said that in the beginning. But other than that, I think it is one of the better Alien movies. And even though I'm going to give you guys a best to worst, I'll tell you right now that this is one of the better ones. So it's going to be stacked higher up in terms of my rating of Alien movies. The main actress was great. The supporting cast was great. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I really didn't like. And I can't, how do I say this without spoiling it? Alright, spoiler alert. Stop watching my video now. The video's almost done, but stop watching it now if you don't want any spoilers. Okay? You've been warned. Yeah, they brought, oh look, so what they did in this movie was they tried to pay homage to every Alien movie. Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. They even had like everything. They had everything in this movie. And what they did, like a lot of people complained about Prometheus with the engineers, like just keep the engineers out of Aliens, please. We don't want that. And this movie does two things that are kind of weird. Is number one, they kind of reference or pay homage to Alien Resurrection, where Ripley's cloned, and then because she was cloned and the alien came out of her, when the alien has another alien baby, it's like looks kind of like half human, half alien, which nobody liked. I didn't like. Nobody wanted to see it, and they kind of referenced that, but they mixed it in with the engineer, and I thought that was just totally unnecessary, because when you complicate this stuff so much, you make it really hard to make a sequel to this movie now, because you got so many rules you have to follow, you have so many timelines, you have so many things that are going to complicate everything. So I wish they didn't put that in there. But overall, I'm happy to say, as an Aliens fan, if you liked those movies back in the day, I think you will like this one. Some reviewers didn't like it, some did, and again, just like with everything else, it's a reference. Like if we got this, if we had Aliens, and then this, we might complain, but I don't think that much. But because we had Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator 2, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, this looks like Shakespeare in comparison to those movies, in my opinion. So overall, I'm very happy with it. I enjoyed it a lot in the theaters, and yeah, it's very suspenseful, very good. There's a lot of Easter eggs paying homage to, but I don't think they were cheesy in any way. They were done well. They were done well, and I highly recommend this movie if you're an Aliens fan. So yeah, it's good. I give it 7.5 biceps out of 10. Okay, so Bodybuilding Gamer, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And let me know what you thought of it. Did you watch it? Are you gonna watch it? And if you did, what did you think of it? Okay? So until the next one,